Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. Today we are covering My Hero Academia Chapter 324, and it adds on to the theme of hero society, because at the end of the day, we live in a society, guys. Well, this is because the whole chapter is centralized upon Deku's generation making a difference than the previous, creating a reformation on the perception and wider values on what it means to be a hero, which of course it means that you have to have drip. You have to get that drip to be a hero in a manga. So as always, we predicted this 3 months ago, and I have been adding layers to this analysis on a weekly basis. So if you haven't had the notification bell on, you're a numpty. You wouldn't understand a thing I'm saying right now. Nah, I'm kidding. I love you guys, and I really wish you do hit the notification bell, smash the like button to support me. It helps me more than you know.
I'm confused right now, G.
Well, you don't have to be confused. If you just subscribe, we as a community will understand and be on the same page. My Hero Academia at the end of the day is a story on what it means to be a hero. In the beginning, All Might saw Deku trying to save Bakugo like a true hero, inspiring him to push his own limits to come to the rescue. This philosophy and ideology is constantly questioned within My Hero Academia's story, where Deku is the centerpiece of idealism that rubs off on the current and future generations to create reform within themselves and the wider society. For example, if we take a look at the Stain fight, the story displayed a change in Ida's philosophy, where he witnessed Deku stating that he came to save him and prioritizes his life rather than destroying Stain. Ida later realizes that revenge for his brother isn't the true answer, as a true hero is one that uses their powers responsibly to save those in need. Now, Stain defines the hero as a person who makes sacrifices, the one who saves people and asks nothing in return. But the story isn't saying, oh, feeling angry for those you love being hurt by others is bad. No, it's saying that's fine, but using this anger in the name of justice is incorrect. My Hero's idealism explains that making a person suffer like you did forces the cycle to continue, with rage and hatred being spread even further, something that Shigaraki is using and building to have enough power to steal One for All and break Deku's will. This is what is causing the chaos in the world and destroying hero society. However, through Deku, Horikoshi portrayed another important characteristic of a hero, that the theme of saving a person is not only bounded by physical means, rather it is also to save a person bounded by their own mental shackles. Chapter 323 added to this message, where Nezu, the principal, described that heroes are humans that need to be understood as well, but humanity struggles to make true progress down its path. If you think about it, in the early arcs, we witnessed Deku push Shoto to self-reflect deep within him, breaking his mental shackles. Deku utters the words, "Your power is your own," which triggers Shoto to realize that he should strive to be who he is and use his gifts for good. Now, within chapter 324, we can clearly see these same mental shackles burden Deku, and now it's his turn to be saved by those that care for him, because a hero isn't perfect, they are only human, and since we are human, it means you're imperfect, as with our conscious minds, we can only learn through mistakes and experience. This is how mutual understanding between each other actually occurs, since the emotional side can be envisioned from both parties. Part of being human, and what makes us special compared to other species, is that we have emotions that can feel for one another and make us become selfless, and these emotions can also determine our free will, rather than animals who purely think of instincts to survive. So in My Hero Academia, and even in the real world, let's think about it. I'm gonna do some deep analysis here, but basically, humans from birth are inspired from those who raise us, our parents, teachers, and then society as a whole. Our perception and ideologies are formulated from experience, much like how Deku and his generation saw All Might as a symbol of peace, so that drives them to match his ideals as a hero, right? However, on the other hand, negative connotations to positive realities is also a byproduct. Kota is a prime example. As a young boy who had a perception of heroes that was extremely negative, he hated the idea and concept of it. This thought process didn't just come out of thin air like saying, oh, I'm gonna wake up one day and I hate heroes now. No, Kota's hatred for heroes developed after the death of his parents, who both died on the job of being pro-heroes. This left Kota abandoned and all alone. He's an orphan, where he blamed his parents partly for wanting the job more than being with him. From then on, he didn't even want to be around anyone who dreamed of becoming a hero. This reality is a parallel to Shigaraki's own father, whose mother Nana Shimura left him all alone due to her job as a hero and having one for all. In effect, Shigaraki's father, just like Kota, despised all heroes to the point of even abusing his own son, who dreamt of becoming one himself. By the way, I'm just gonna say this now, but it's so funny I'm saying Kota all the time, because shout out to my Pakistan Indian fans and all that, because just saying Kota is just, guys in the comments, you know what I mean. Let the other people know what that shit means. Anyway, as we all know, no one saved Shigaraki's father from his mindset, and this hatred rippled into no one saving Shigaraki from his turmoil after he accidentally killed his family. Whereas Deku saved Kota from this future reality, something positive out of pro-hero society, where he is fulfilling the gaps of what the villains hate about it. Now in chapter 74, we see Deku showcase his bravery and conviction against Muscular to protect Kota, the son of the heroes who were murdered by him. This is why Horikoshi displayed Kota at the end of chapter 324 as a parallel to his storytelling, since Kota sees Deku as his hero now and wants to save him from his despair just as he did. Every single arc climaxed for this moment of Deku breaking down under his burdens. This is the same boy who went out of his way to save Eri, someone who suffered similar to Shigaraki, therefore implying the idea to readers that Shigaraki could have also been saved in his childhood, meaning that if pro-hero society adopted Deku's nature of true selflessness, it could have been avoided. Deku has now realized that his burden to reform society and save the world has to be shared, because it's simply too much for him to bear. This is why when he drops to his knees whilst Uraraka is doing his speech at the end of chapter 324, it parallels when he asks All Might if he could be a hero. It's the exact same shot and artwork, since even heroes need to be saved. He has realized that his dream of wanting to be the #1 hero has to be selfless through sharing it with others. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible or meaningful anyway, as the wider society will just fail once again in its vicious cycle. This is why Deku's heroism must further extend to just individuals. He needs to address the root of the problem with his friends, not just target those who ended on the other side, but also save them. As we saw in chapter 305, Deku came to that realization and wanted to make that little boy stop crying. When Shigaraki's consciousness invaded One for All's vestige world, Deku initially felt so much rage from Shigaraki. However, as he looked deeper, he saw Shigaraki's true feelings being embodied by his younger self crying. This is what Deku is feeling right now. But as Nezu put it, if he wants to rise up and become the ultimate hero that surpasses All Might, as he said in chapter 323, he has to harness these emotions in the right manner by teaching the generations to change for the better. Chapter 324 begins with a flashback of Uraraka with her family when she was younger, reminiscing about how much she always loved seeing the happy smiles on people's faces. She hated when her parents always had an exhausted look on their face, and that whenever heroes were in action, she wouldn't pay attention to the heroes in all their glory, but instead she'd watch the people. Now, because she grew up with such a love for seeing people happy, she, more than anyone, should know how to put a smile on a person's face, which is what makes her such a unique and perfect hero for this current situation with Deku and everyone at UA. Up until now, we'd had it deeply ingrained in our minds that the heroes must save. Never thought about, like, what do the heroes feel and do they want to be saved? The heroes have always been viewed as celebrities, which is why many disgenuine heroes who were searching for fame started popping up. Clout chasing, which is part of the reason the society has collapsed. Kinda reminds me me of real life, you know what I'm saying? Heroes lack a sense of human identity. Now, let me test you guys. I want you to think, what's All Might's real name? What's Best Genius's name? Hawks? Any of the top heroes? That freaking washing machine? Tell me their names. Odds are, you will struggle. You only know their hero names. Now think, Deku is Izuku Midoriya. You have Bakugo, Todoroki, Uraraka. All these heroes we all know by their real names. And I bet on the flip side, you couldn't tell me their hero names, right? Most of you can't name Uraraka's hero name. And I know what you're gonna say right now. You could argue that, well, they are the main characters to the manga, so that's just the way it is. But I think it's deeper than that. We know them by their true names rather than their hero ones, because they are spearheading the new generation of what it means to be a hero. And that's not actually to be a hero, but to be human. Selfless humans with powers to protect those that they care for. It's something different from All Might's generation, where that was a mistake that they performed. Now, with Deku standing in disbelief about how far Uraraka, his girlfriend, is going, like, oh my god, my thing is big. We then see civilians who Deku had helped save in the past begin to side with her. Uraraka continues to project her feelings to the crowd and reassures them that the heroes will shoulder the burden alone for their safety as long as they can give time. She states that at this very moment, their safety can't be guaranteed, and that even the heroes are scared just like them because they are human. But like I mentioned before, these little imperfections, which in theory would go against everything we've come to understand about what it makes a true hero, such as always saving with a smile, in fact, it could be not true. A true hero is a human, and these honest imperfections are true human emotions that everyone can relate with. Midoriya begins to shed a tear over the lengths his girlfriend Uraraka is going to try and make everybody understand the truth behind his actions and why he was trying so hard to shoulder the burden alone. Now, Uraraka understands Deku more than anyone because secretly she's in love with him, so she knows entirely what his character is like. This whole chapter was a moment for their ship. Uraraka elaborates further, saying that heroes also suffer and they go through pain, hardship, and emotions just like everyone else in the crowd. Aizawa is in pain in the hospital from losing his leg in the war. Suffering alongside him is Present Might, not being able to do anything against the villains who turned their dead friend into a Nomu Kurogiri, not even letting him rest in peace. Now, if you want to know the complete story of Aizawa and Kurogiri, who the fuck was Kurogiri? Why is he Aizawa's former friend? Well, we've done the video already and it's being displayed to you right now. So as Uraraka's words echo through the civilians and heroes, they are fueled by her reason for becoming a hero. The true reason why any hero put their life in jeopardy to save others. It's the desire to see that smile in other people's faces in order to give them hope and strength to keep laughing. And this is what all heroes desire deep down. She begs the crowd to lend Deku and the heroes their support because the heroes are in pain after the crushing defeat by the villains who stole away the pillar of hope and smiles from the public. With everyone's help, they can all smile together in the end. I will now be passing the video on to Yusuf as he will explain the rest of the chapter and what the hell is going on.
Okay, so Uraraka continues pleading to the people, begging them to let Deku have the time to recuperate. Don't let him carry this responsibility or power alone. He's just an ordinary high schooler. Deku may be a hero, a symbol for the people, but currently he's vulnerable. Without their support, he won't be able to carry on, just like we saw in chapter 318, when Deku collapsed from being exhausted of trying to do everything by himself. Uraraka then screams a final cry, asking everyone to let Deku stay at the Hero Academy. At this point, Deku starts reminiscing when Uraraka saved him from tripping and falling over at the start of the school year. He drops to the ground, finally realizing that he has never been able to do things alone, understanding how selfish his actions had been. It was because of Uraraka's gravity training that he could even use float to save everyone against Shigaraki in chapter 283. It was Shiro with his tape quirk training that allowed him to master Black Whip in such a short time, with how Eri and Mirio he would have lost to Overhaul. And if it weren't for Bakugo, our boy Deku would have become a shish kebab against Shigaraki. Without his friends, his teachers, mentors, mother, Deku is he's pretty much like everyone else. He's a weak little shit. Nah, I'm just kidding, but seriously, the dependency is there. And likewise, Deku then was able to share his ideologies and the way he is to the people around him, forming kind of a hero echo chamber where everyone is actually looking out for each other. Whilst Deku's wife Uraraka shouts out her heart for him as the rain is pouring down, Deku crashes to the ground, and at that moment, future Deku speaks once again, stating that this is the story of how I became the greatest hero.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Truly, this is an emotional moment. I can't lie, I'm tearing up with Deku. Oh God, I want to see another man cry like this. Damn. But as Deku now on the ground, bawling his eyes out, Dogface or whatever the heck she is, remembering how Deku saved her, runs to his aid. However, Deku's inspiration extends more than him being idolized, as those he had saved were imprinted with Deku's heroism. My Hero Academia deep dives into the effects of these interactions and how Deku is literally saving every generation around him. This includes the heroes of the past like Nagant, giving her hope for a better future. At the same time, understanding the problems that those before faced. Deku is trying to reason with the villains and even desires to save Shigaraki, who was failed by the Hero Society before him. Deku saved his classmates from both mental and physical subjugation with his actions and the way Deku carried himself. He pushed Shoto, Bakugo, Ida, Uraraka to be the heroes they are. All of his classmates were inspired by him to now have a piece of Deku in their hearts. Then we have the future generation, which is probably the most important ones to be saved. From Eri, who could have ended up like Shigaraki, to Kota, whose ideals of heroes were at its lowest, very similar to like Shigaraki's father. However, Deku changed their destiny to be much different from those before, and now these kids will be the future heroes who will then share what hope and ideals Deku gave to them. Deku embodies a message greater than the smile itself. He is helping to create reform in society that will allow for the circumstance the villains and he himself faced to occur much less. From this, we can understand the importance of inspiring the next generation that Horikoshi is constantly trying to highlight through My Hero Academia, sending the message that children are the most important aspect of the world to save, as disregarding them and causing childhood trauma is what causes it to ripple into the wider society for someone like all for one to exploit or become. Dogface Girl and Kota running to Deku's aid is a reminder of this. They are the heroes, aiding Deku in his time of despair. This chapter ends with Dogface and Kota tearing up as they embrace their fallen hero Deku, where we have the narration, this is the story of how we all became the greatest heroes, which parallels Deku's earlier narration that this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. Once again, My Hero Academia is a story of community, friendship and understanding. To be a hero, power is not essential. Rather, to be a hero, compassion is required. This goes back to N, the 6th user of One for All, advice in chapter 308, when he told Deku that he should not rely on his quirk, rather just think of them as simply tools in his arsenal. In reality, what made Deku a hero wasn't his incredible quirk, but his humanity and willingness to help others. Unfortunately, this line get blurred and the heroes are seen as something beyond us. They are idolized and depended on, later given expectations and forced to shoulder a heavy burden. In the My Hero Academia world, having quirks reinforces this ideology of heroes just being some sort of tool of safety that has to fulfill the needs of the normal day-to-day people. However, they are not tools, they are humans, and just like everyone else, they also need saving, which comes back to Uraraka's speech that these civilians who do not possess any power to help themselves can at least be understanding enough to let those who are risking their lives for them to rest. This speech most definitely hit a nerve with the masses. Just looking at Deku, a high schooler, teenage boy, crying his heart out, looking like shit, smelling like shit, there is no way they can turn him away. More than likely, going forwards, we will see Deku recover, taking a bath and getting clean. His mama will probably even give him a big long hug, and hopefully Deku will, have an upgrade to his hero costume. We need to see that drip. I'm expecting some lit shit. But anyway guys, let me know what you lot thought about this chapter. Now I know there's some theories going around that Nezu is the traitor, but as of yet, I really don't feel like that's likely. Ayoma is even more sus than him in my opinion. But regardless, the fact that there is a traitor has yet to be revealed. It could indicate that they will play a big role in the upcoming attack. Now let us know what you guys think. Don't forget to smash that like button, ding the notification bell to stay updated with all our content. And until then guys, we'll catch you lot next time.